and we will be reading the news for today's edition of the Fayetteville Obsever.
And we're going to start with our weather today. Today is Thursday, May 17th, 2018, and we are reading from the Fayetteville Obsever. And we're going to have some rain this week, starting today. We're going to have a high of 81, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, so better bring your umbrella. And tonight, it's only going to go down to 70. A thunderstorm early, cloudy and humid. Moving to Friday, we'll have a high of 82, a low of 69, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Saturday, we'll have a high of 79, a low of 68, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. And Sunday, we have a high of 87, that's almost 10 degrees higher, a low of 69. We'll have some sun with a thunderstorm in the area. Moving to next week, Monday, we have a high of 88, a low of 69, and still a chance of a thunder shower. Tuesday, a high of 88, a low of 69, a thunderstorm possible in the afternoon. And Wednesday, a high of 88, a low of 68, an afternoon thunderstorm possible. How about our sun and moon? Our sun rises today at 6:10 a.m. and the sun sets tonight at 8:14 p.m. The moon will rise today at 9:12 a.m. and set today at 11:48 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6:10 a.m. and the sunset tomorrow evening will be at 8:14 p.m. How about our moon? We have our first moon on May 21st, the full moon May 29th, last moon will be June 6th, and the new moon June 13th. That's your weather for Thursday, May 17th, 2018 from the Fayetteville Obsever.
And today in history. Today is Thursday, the 17th of May. This is the 137th day of the year 2018, and there are 228 days left in this year. Today's highlight: on the 17th of May in 1968, 9 men and women, including brothers Daniel and Philip Berrigan, entered the Selective Service Office in Catonsville, Maryland, and seized several hundred draft files and burned them outside to protest the Vietnam War before they were arrested. The Catonsville Nine, as they came to be known, received federal prison sentences ranging from 24 to 42 months. And on today's date in history, in 1792, the New York Stock Exchange had its beginnings as a group of brokers met under a tree on Wall Street and signed the Buttonwood Agreement. And on today's date in history, in 1875, the first Kentucky Derby was won. The winner was Aristides, ridden by Oliver Lewis. And on today's date in history, in 1938, Congress passed the Second Vinson Act, providing for a strengthened United States Navy. And on today's date, in 1954, a unanimous U.S. Supreme Court handed down its Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka decision, which held that racially segregated public schools were inherently unequal and therefore unconstitutional. On today's date in 1973, a special committee convened by the U.S. Senate began its televised hearings into the Watergate scandal. On today's date in 1980, rioting that claimed 18 lives erupted in Miami's Liberty City after an all-white jury in Tampa, Florida, acquitted 4 former Miami police officers of fatally beating black insurance executive Arthur McDuffie. That was in 1980. And on today's date in 1987, 37 American sailors were killed when an Iraqi warplane attacked the U.S. Navy frigate Stark in the Persian Gulf. Later, Iraq apologized for the attack, calling it a mistake, and paid more than $27 million in compensation. And our birthdays today. Actor Peter Garrity is 78 years old. Singer Taj Mahal is 76. Singer-musician George Johnson of the Brothers Johnson, he's 65. Boxing Hall of Famer Sugar Ray Leonard is 62 years old today. Actor-comedian Bob Saget is 62. Sports announcer Jim Nance is 59. Singer Inya is 57. Singer-musician Trent Reznor of the Nine Inch Nails is 53. Actress Paige Turco is 53. Actress Sasha Alexander is 45. Rock singer Andrea Corr of the Claws is 44. Actor Sindhil Ramamurthy is 44. Singer Condi Boas is 42. Actress Ginger Gonzaga is 35. Dancer choreographer Derek Huff is 33. And bringing it all up in the rear is actress Nikki Reed. Nikki is 30 years old today.
Well, all right, the day break need to know. What do you need to know today? Well, number one, Shaw University Scholarship Banquet. The 17th Annual Shaw University Scholarship Banquet is June 1st at 6:30 p.m. The banquet for the Fayetteville Cumberland County chapter will be at the Metropolitan Room, 109 Green Street, and the guest speaker is Paulette Dillard, interim president of Shaw University. Tickets are $30 each. For more information, call Wilson Lacey at 988-1707. Second thing you need to know, Run for the Legend. The Airborne and Special Operations Museum Foundation will hold its 11th annual Run for the Legend 5K on June 2nd at 8 a.m. and the proceeds support the museum's operational and educational programs and activities. The course begins and ends on the Hay Street side of the museum. Online registration is available through active.com. Registration also is available at the museum. Registration is $20 through June 1st. Registration is $25 the day of the race. Strollers, wagons, and well-behaved leashed dogs are permitted. Foundation also is looking for volunteers to help during the race. For more information, contact Catherine Hodge at events@asomf.org, or you can call Catherine at 643-2773. And the third thing you need to know is the Cumberland County Agricultural Hall of Fame. Nominations are being accepted for candidates for induction into the Hall of Fame for 2018. Cumberland County Agricultural Hall of Fame honors county residents who have made significant contributions to agriculture, home economics, youth development, or rural communities. Nomination forms are available by calling 321-6405 or on the Cooperative Extension website at cumberland.ces.ncsu.gov. Nomination forms must be received by 5 p.m. June 30th, or the forms may be mailed to the Cumberland County Center, North Carolina Cooperative Extension, Charlie Rose Agri Expo Center, 301 East Mountain Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28306, or you can fax them to 321-6883, or email them to Lisa Childers at ncsu.edu. Now, listeners, we want to hear from you. Please submit your events in writing at least 10 days in advance. Email your calendar at fayobserver.com or fax your details to 486-3545. And for questions, please call 486-3500.
And for your Cumberland County public safety today, there were several arrests made. Torchy Lee Batchelor, age 57, of the 2000 block of Mango Circle, was charged Wednesday with larceny and possessing stolen property. Torchy Lee Batchelor, her bail was set at $1,000. Cornelius Hunter Jr., age 32, of the 1300 block of Chilton Drive, was charged Wednesday with conspiring to traffic in opium. Cornelius Hunter Jr., his bail was set at $10,000. Michael Sean McCall, age 27, of the 100 block of Sherman Drive, was charged Wednesday with possessing a counterfeit instrument, uttering a forged instrument, and attempting to obtain property by false pretense. Michael Sean McCaw's bail was set at $10,000. Robert Anthony Puckett, age 28, of the 5300 block of Cherry Lane, was charged Tuesday with 2 counts of breaking and entering and 1 count of larceny. Robert Anthony Puckett's bail was set at $10,000. And in the break-in department on Snowy Egret Drive, it was reported at 7:30 a.m. on Monday that a generator was taken. And another break-in on Bolton Drive, it was reported at 10:35 a.m. on Monday that 3 televisions were taken. And in the vehicle break-in department on Magnificent Avenue, it was reported at 11:08 p.m. Sunday that a purse, a wallet, a credit and debit card, and a New York driver's license, 2 military dependent identification cards, and a Bible were taken. And finally, in Spring Lake on West Manchester Road, it was reported at 7:55 a.m. on Monday morning that 6 batteries were taken. Now, Nancy, I'm not sure what kind of batteries were taken. Were they AAA or were they car batteries? They need to be more specific. But I have a feeling they were car batteries taken on West Manchester Road. And now, I'd like to say that the time now is 10:31 in the morning. It's Thursday. It's the 17th of May in the year 2018. And I would like to say that this is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service. It is a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations, and we request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1414. or call the toll-free number 844-709-5656. Your radio hosts this morning are Clark and
Nancy.
And we are proud to serve you today.
All right, well, yesterday was a big day, Wednesday in Raleigh, for teachers rallying. Myron B. Pitts writes this article. A little after 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, school teacher Stephanie Dupree got ready to board a bus. On a normal Wednesday, she would be driving on North Carolina 87 from her home in Grays Creek to T.C. Berrien Elementary School in Fayetteville. Not Wednesday. She and more than 150 teachers from Cumberland and surrounding counties were taking 2 buses to Raleigh for the Rally for Respect, where they would join as many as 20,000 other teachers, mostly wearing red. Dupree has taught for 24 years. She said her sons, who were 17 and 24, were surprised she would take part in such a large event. I'm usually not a crowd person, she said with a smile, but she said in her soft voice, I had to speak to them about the importance of supporting other educators. I'm just fired up and ready to go. 8:40 on the bus. Dupree would be in a planning period at Berrien about this time. Her students would be in PE. She uses the time to grade papers and return calls from parents. Wednesday, as raindrops slid along the bus windows, she chatted along with her friends Kimberly Wells, a 6th grade teacher at Westover Middle, Michelle Pelham, a 5th grade teacher at Margaret Willis Elementary. Pelham talked about a promising girl at her school for whom writing and creative pursuits are released. She played a video for Dupree of the girls singing. All 3 women teach in schools federally designated as Title I, meaning 40% or more of students are economically disadvantaged. Pelham talked about counseling children. Of any teacher's job, I just love the fact that I can put a smile on a child's face, she said. I can't be in their house, but I can give them good advice and share my own experiences. From the front of the bus, Carol Olinger, who was bedecked in buttons touting education, led the teachers in chants. We are awesome, she said. So it looks like the teachers did a good job in Raleigh, and good luck, teachers, and I hope good things came from this.
Did you have anybody that you know went up there to the...
My daughter went there.
You did? Is she a teacher?
She is an art teacher.
Where?
In Pitt County.
Pitt County, yes sirree. Well, here we have a little article about the manager that was blamed for the mobile manor woes. This article was written by Greg Barnes. An out-of-state owner of a Fayetteville trailer park said she had been trying for months to get the property manager to clean up the place before city officials turned off the park's power on Tuesday. Portia Covington of Glen Allen, Virginia, said Wednesday that she and her sister, Valeria Russ of Fayetteville, became owners of Mobile Manor Mobile Home Park after another sister died in the year 2017 in May. Since then, Portia Covington said she has tried repeatedly to get Sheila Monsauer, who has held the property manager lease on the trailer park for years, and to make sure it did not violate city codes. The problems that exist at that mobile home park have not gone unnoticed by us as landowners, said Portia Covington of Glen Allen, Virginia. And I cannot count the times that we have talked about getting it all cleaned up. Mansour acknowledges that Covington has told her to clean the property. But Mansour says she was in the process of getting it done when the city shut off the power to the Mobile Manor trailer park. A couple of hours before the electricity was disconnected, a mountain of trash overflowed from the park's dumpster, and giant holes marred the roads in the park. The city of Fayetteville repeatedly has cited the park for code enforcement violations. In late April, Fayetteville officials say a city inspector found 13 potentially life-threatening electrical code violations at the 42-lot mobile home park off Johnson Street in the Bonnie Doon neighborhood. Portia Covington and Mansour were sent notices giving them 5 days to address and do something about the violations. The city extended the deadline 3 times, officials say, before ordering the power shut off after Mansour's daughter, Kelly Mansour, failed to show up for a meeting with city officials on Monday. Kelly Mansour manages the day-to-day operations of the property. Around noon on Tuesday, power was disconnected to 37 mobile homes, leaving people scrambling for places to live. The city has helped many of them find temporary housing, but the residents of 17 mobile homes have chosen to stay in place. On Wednesday, Mobile Manor was bustling with activity, including workers in a bucket truck who appeared to be responding to the electrical violations. Trash from the dumpster was also being hauled away. 2 Fayetteville police officers stood nearby watching and observing the activity in the mobile home park. We understand from the park manager that materials are on site now, as is the electrician, and if all goes as planned, a portion of the mobile home park will have power restored in the very near future. Kevin Arata, a city spokesman, said in an email, city electrical inspectors are standing by to go back to the site and check the electrician's work to ensure all of that work is being done to code, and as soon as we are requested to do so. Arata said Kelly Mansour told city officials that electricians are working in zones. When a zone is cleared of violations, he said, power will be restored to those mobile homes in that zone. Records from the city show that Mobile Manor has been cited for 219 code violations since the year 2010. That's about 8 years. Mostly for trash and debris, junked vehicles, and substandard buildings. More than 3/4 of the violations happened after the year 2015. It was in 2017 alone that the park was cited 94 times on average of nearly 8 a month. That's 8 a month. It's amazing. Sheila Mansour said her family has been managing Mobile Manor for the Covington's family since 1950. Mansour said she took over the management in 1980 after her mother died. That's Mansour. Mobile Manor has been owned for years by Portia Covington's sister, Bacolia Jarrell, until her death last year. She had been in declining health for a couple of years before she died, Covington said. That's Portia Covington. Portia Covington said that one of the first things she and her husband did after they inherited the property was to tell Sheila Mansour to clean it up, starting with removing the trash and debris and repairing the internal roads within the mobile home park. Mansour promised to make the improvements, but she never did. That's not the way we live, so we don't expect for other people to live in those kinds of conditions with garbage and bad roads everywhere. It's just shameful for people this day and age, that's the 21st century, to be in the United States of America, to be living in those kinds of conditions where junk, garbage, trash, litter, and bad roads exist. Covington said Mansour renewed the park's annual property management lease in January 2018. If the work doesn't get done to Covington's satisfaction, she said, Covington said she will look into whether the lease can be terminated. Portia Covington said she received the city's notice of the electrical violations in early May and drove to Fayetteville from Virginia on Saturday to meet with the Mansours. Remember, Sheila Mansour has held the property management lease on the trailer park for years. We let Sheila know that it was an embarrassment for the Covington name. It is a slum area, and it's pulling Bonnie Doon down even more than it already is down. 2 days after that meeting, Arata said Kelly Mansour failed to attend a meeting with city officials, and the decision was made to shut off the power. Kelly Mansour did meet Wednesday with city officials to give them an update on the progress. If the park had corrected the problems in the beginning, when they were identified, we would not be in this position now, nor would the residents. Sheila Mansour thinks the city should have given her more time to make the electrical repairs. She said the wire had to be special ordered, and the electrician she hired was waiting on it to begin the work. She also questions why the city inspected and approved the trailer park's electrical wiring after much of it had to be replaced after Hurricane Matthew in October of 2016. She is confused about that. The code requirements have not changed since then, and she's scratching her head about it. So why are they now saying that I have to do it right this minute? I can't afford to spend $5,000 on someone else's property. We are trying to get this done as best we can. Now, if any of you out there have a question about this article, you can call Greg Barnes at this number. Get your pencil, 910-486-3525.
Now, Clark, have you ever thought that the veterans might be able to help the farmers of North Carolina?
Well, no, I hadn't really given it a whole lot of thought, but what's up over there?
Well, the state is turning to the vets to bolster farming. Drew Brooks, military editor, writes this article. Agriculture is North Carolina's largest industry, but in recent years, thousands of farms across the state have been shuttered as land has been developed or farmers have closed up shop because of shrinking profits. In response, local, state, and federal officials are hoping to enlist reinforcements from North Carolina's second largest economic driver, the military. At a Farming Resources for Military Veterans workshop at the Cumberland County Cooperative Extension Office, experts from across the Cape Fear region shared tips, tools, and contacts with farmers and would-be farmers. The event was hosted by North Carolina Assistive Technology Program with support from Cumberland County, North Carolina Agri-Ability, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and others. It drew several working farmers, including one from Charlotte. Lisa Childers of the County Cooperative Extension Office said she and others are standing by to be a resource to farmers. The county provides a resource guide for local farmers and can provide information on government grants and programs to bolster their business. If we can be of assistance, that's what we're here for, she said. Tobacco, sweet potatoes, Christmas trees, poultry, and pork are all big business in North Carolina, Childers said, and farmers have a big impact, even near Fayetteville and other cities that are often associated with farmland. Cumberland County has about 186 farmers, about 83% of which run small family farms. The average age of those farmers is approaching 60 years old, Childers said, which was all the more reason to encourage a younger generation of veterans to fill in a widening gap. Childers said a new generation of farmers is embracing new technologies to increase efficiencies and create bigger yields. Several officials said veterans are often a perfect fit for agriculture. Rodney Young, a spokesman for the USDA's Farm Service Agency, said veterans often have the skills needed to be successful on a farm. Why veterans, he said. This is a very easy question. We need highly skilled, driven folks. Young said several traits translate from the military to farming, including leadership, discipline, and a focus on high standards. Betty Rodriguez of North Carolina Agri-Ability agreed. She said veterans have what it takes to be successful in any industry. North Carolina Agri-Ability partners with nonprofit organizations to provide resources for farmers with disabilities, including veterans, Rodriguez said. The organization has helped veterans with traumatic brain injury, amputations, post-traumatic stress, overcome their injuries, and she said many have found the work therapeutic. For many veteran farmers, farming is their next mission, she said. It's meaningful work. Agriculture contributes $78 billion to the state's economy every year, while the defense industry contributes $66 billion. And in Cumberland County, the two often meet, said the County Cooperative Extension's Liz Lottie. Lottie said civil affairs soldiers from Fort Bragg often train at local farms ahead of deployments. Civil affairs soldiers work with foreign governments and populations in an attempt to improve communities and build defense, and often the communities they help rely on farming. She helps host a 2-week training course that is conducted 3 times a year for those soldiers who learn how to work with local farmers. Oftentimes the soldiers have no experience with farming, but get a hands-on class before going overseas. It's one of my favorite things we get to do, Lottie said. For more information, contact the North Carolina Assistive Technology Program at 919-855-3500 or the Cumberland County Cooperative Extension Office at 910-321-6860. And remember, tobacco, sweet potatoes, Christmas trees, poultry, and pork are all the big businesses of our North Carolina farmers. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. 4 major agricultural businesses. What did it say? Pork, chickens,
Christmas trees.
Christmas trees, and what was the other one? Tobacco. Well, here is the opinion of the Fayetteville Obsever from an editorial about the trailer park fiasco, is what I call it. The title of this is "Pulling a Trailer Park's Plug," that's electrical plug, "should not be a surprise." And is an editorial from the Observer. If we had just experienced a natural disaster, the turmoil for residents of the Mobile Manor Mobile Home Park in Fayetteville would be understandable. They would have had to evacuate if the park had been slammed by a flash flood, slammed by a tornado, or slammed by a major fire or some other disaster. But it was none of those things. This was a problem with the electrical power lines in Mobile Manor, the park. And it's a serious one that could have endangered the lives of all those people living there. But it was no surprise to the city or the trailer park's owners. The electrical system's problems were discovered during an April 25 city inspection that found 13 code violations. The bottom line is that the park's own power grid, which serves 42 lots, was defective, substandard, and dangerous. At the time, the city gave the park's owners 5 days to fix the problems, which Michael Martin, the city's assistant director of permitting and inspections, called one of those life and death situations that could have led to the needless death of a resident of the city of Fayetteville. The work wasn't performed within those 5 days and still hasn't been done, more than 3 weeks after the inspection. The decision to shut off the power nevertheless came suddenly after the property manager failed to show up for a meeting with city staff, and little had been done to correct those problems. The trailer park's owners and managers may have known about the electrical problems from the outset, but for the residents, which are 37 families, the decision to shut off the power came to them as a surprise. They had all but about 16 hours of warning. The police delivered the notice of the Tuesday power shutoff on Monday evening. Most of those residents were shocked and unsure of what they were going to do. Mobile Manor is not an upscale place, and while some of the residents own their own trailers, nobody there has a lot of money available for an extended stay in a hotel or to make a quick move to another location. The common refrain was, "I just don't know what I'm going to do about this." So the city brought in the Salvation Army and the Hope Center to relocate some families, and others found temporary housing with their relatives within the city. City community development staff helped some residents find temporary places to stay, and the police provided the transportation needed and other assistance. Residents of 17 trailers made their decision to stay there without power. Now, this is one of, get this, pay attention, 72 mobile home parks within the city of Fayetteville that have been inspected this year. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 72 mobile home parks in Cumberland County, and Mobile Manor is only one where such serious problems were found. It appears to be an anomaly, something unusual, but that is no comfort for the 37 families that were affected. The city may have discovered another form of natural disaster for which it needs a contingency plan. We trust that when Mobile Manor's problems are resolved, an after-action meeting will look at ways this crisis could have been averted. The city staff will develop a plan for the next one. When a large group of city residents is about to be displaced through no fault of its own, what can the city do to help? Couldn't the residents have been warned days, not hours in advance, that this is going to happen? Could the city have taken other legal action to compel the repairs to be done faster? Could the city have gotten the repairs done and then billed the park owners? Ultimately, this is about the mobile homes park responsibility to its residents. But when the city needs to take drastic action, that will result in dozens of people becoming, at least temporarily, homeless. And extra contingency plans are in order.
All right. Here's some cheers and jeers. Cheer for a police officer. Cheers to Officer Newman of the Fayetteville Police Department for the reality check and pep talk recently. He took his time reminding me that I can't do it all myself all the time because I deserve a break too. This life coach in a uniform turned my day around. Thank you. Katie Burrows, Fayetteville. Cheer for a body shop. Cheers and my sincere thanks to Ski, Kristen, and the folks over at Ski's Auto World Paint and Body Shop, located behind the Mercedes-Benz dealership on Bragg Boulevard. I recently had some work done on my vehicle at their shop. Was highly pleased with the results. They were very responsive and worked with me to help make professional repairs on schedule and at a minimal, reasonable expense. It was a job well done. Based on my experience, I would recommend them for that type of work when needed. From Greg Carson or Gason in Fayetteville. Now send us your cheers and jeers. We want to share praise for an individual or business, or if you want to vent about a bad experience, submit yours to cheers and jeers at fayobserver.com, or you can go to fayobserver.com/opinion/cheers, where you can use an online form.
The time now is 11 o'clock in the morning. It's Thursday. It is the 17th of May, 2018. I'd like to remind you that this is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service. It is a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on your public donation. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or call the toll-free number 844-709-5656. Your radio hosts today are Clark and
Nancy.
And we are proud to serve you today.
All right, we have our obituaries and news for the second hour. The death notices. Following deaths have been reported. See upcoming editions of the Fayetteville Obsever for complete obituary information. In Cumberland County, Stephen Anthony Wright, age 33, of Fayetteville, McNeil Mackey Funeral Home in St. Paul's. Jack P. Turansky, age 78, of Eastover, Skinner and Smith Funeral Home in Dunn. Bertha Melvin, age 68, of Fayetteville, Herring Funeral Care and Cremations. Sadie A. McNeil, age 71, of Fayetteville, Wiseman Mortuary. In the Cape Fear region, Annie Dockery, age 66, of Rayford Bowie Funeral Home. Funerals today: Lucille Watson, age 85, of Fayetteville, 11 a.m., Lafayette Baptist Church. Burial at Lafayette Memorial Park, Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. John Bowers, age 33, of Fayetteville, 7 p.m., St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. Jennifer Shupp, of Fayetteville, 3 p.m., Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. Ratley Boy, age 73, of Fayetteville, 3 p.m., Breezewood Church, 3337 Legion Road, Hope Mills, Cape Fear Crematory. In Cumberland County, John G. Bowers. John Gregory Jory Bowers of Fayetteville, North Carolina, passed away May 11, 2018. He was 33 years old. Arrangements by Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. Ivy Mae Batts from Fayetteville. Miss Ivy Mae Batts, age 79, of Rolls Avenue, Fayetteville, died Thursday, May 10th, 2018. Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. Leonard Patrick Fitzgerald, U.S. Army retired Sergeant First Class Leonard P. Fitzgerald, 68, of Fayetteville, passed away on May 14, 2018, in his home. Services for the family are entrusted to Lafayette Funeral Home, 6651 Rayford Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Harold L. White. Harold L. White, age 79, of Fayetteville, passed away on Tuesday, May 15, 2018, at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center. Services are entrusted to Butler Funeral Home in Stedman, North Carolina. James Finney Brayboy. James Finney Brayboy, age 84, of Fayetteville, died Monday, May 14, 2018. Covenant Funeral Home.
And obituaries in the region and elsewhere. Carolyn Faye Faircloth, age 76, of Elizabethtown, died Tuesday, on the 15th of May, 2018. The memorial will be on Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Bladen Gaskins Funeral Home Chapel. The Bladen Gaskins Funeral Home has been entrusted with those funeral services. Henry Fawney Jackson, age 66, of Holden Beach, passed away on Tuesday, 8 May 2018, at SECU Hospice House of Brunswick in Bolivia, North Carolina. A celebration of his life will be held at 1 p.m. in the afternoon on Saturday, 19 May 2018, at the White Funeral and Cremation Service, Shallow Chapel. There will be a gathering of family and friends an hour prior to the service at the funeral home. Online condolences may be sent to shallowfunerals.com. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be sent to SECU Hospice House of Brunswick, 955 Mercy Lane, Bolivia, North Carolina, 28422. A service of White Funeral and Cremation Service of Shallow Chapel you may call them at 910-754-3333 for information. Patrick R. Floyd III, born 30 October 1938 and died 14 May 2018. Patrick R. Floyd III of Fairmont, North Carolina, passed away peacefully on Monday, 14 May 2018. A memorial service will be held on Friday, on the 18th of May at 11 a.m. at the First Baptist Church on South Main Street in Fairmont. The visitation will be at 10 a.m. in the church sanctuary of the First Baptist Church. In lieu of flowers, please send memorials to First Baptist Church, Post Office Box 663, Fairmont, North Carolina 28340. And this concludes today's obituaries for the 17th of May 2018.
Let's go to Billy Graham. Keep your friends close, even if they refuse to change. This is from the writings of the Reverend Billy Graham. Question. Recently, I ran across an old friend I hadn't seen in several years. I became very concerned over some of the things he's doing because they're going to destroy him if he isn't careful. But when I expressed concern, he got upset and he told me to mind my own business. How can you help someone who doesn't want your help? From SD. Answer. Well, I'm thankful you are concerned for your friend, even if he refuses to listen to you. Unfortunately, we can't always help someone who needs help. Some people simply won't fix first best interest. Sometimes it's because of pride. They won't admit that. Sometimes it's because they don't want to give up whatever they're listen or pay attention. Instead, they follow the stubborn inclinations of their evil hearts. From the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 24. What can you do? First, pray for your friend. Pray that he'll not only face what he's doing, but that he'll turn to Christ for the forgiveness and a new life he needs. In addition, seek to keep his friendship. Someday he may be more open than he is right now. Finally, ask God to help you be an example to him of Christ's love and goodness and transforming power. From the Tribune Content Agency.
And now a word from Dear Abby. Tension mounts for a tired mom who gets little help from her husband. Dear Abby, I am a working mother of 3 who may be battling postpartum depression. I feel like I am parenting alone. I get the kids out of the house by myself in the morning before my husband even drags himself out of bed. I drop the kids off and then I go to work. Now Abby, I am a teacher. So I teach, and so my day is spent dealing with other people's kids. And then I pick my own kids up from school. So I have no time to decompress or to devote to myself. When there are school functions, my husband makes me feel guilty that I am not spending time with the kids. Now he is starting to make me feel guilty because the kids like him less than they do me. So, Abby, how do I get across to my husband that if he did more and was around them more, they might even like him more? I am so tired of juggling all these balls. I feel like if something were to happen to me, My husband would have no clue as to how to raise the children or run a household. How can I fix this situation? I don't want to resent my husband, but guess what, Abby? I am starting to do that on a daily basis. Signed, Exhausted, Hot Mess Mom. Dear Exhausted, Hot Mess Mom, postpartum depression is more than being tired and overscheduled. It is a medical condition that, if left untreated, can have serious consequences. So it might help for you to discuss what is going on with you to your physician, who can then help you explain to your deadbeat husband that if he does not step up, he could indeed be left with the sole responsibility of taking care of the children and the household. And you're right, you should not be carrying the whole load. And the bonus would be the likelihood that your husband's relationship with the children would improve and he would stop being such a deadbeat. Dear Abby, I have 2 daughters, and we don't always see eyeball to eyeball. I think one of them is emotionally abusive because she is so critical about everything having to do with me. The problem is, I have wonderful grandkids who are very young, and I would love to see them grow up, but I'm able to see them only perhaps 24 days out of the year. I feel lonely knowing my daughter and her husband are so close yet so far because they are too busy with their lives to let me interact with my grandchildren. I do have my own things to do, and I am active in life, but I would love a change of scenery after 2 marriages. I would love to visit new places and make new friends and build a new life for myself. But I wonder if it would be abandoning my grandchildren. Oh, I could still visit them 2 or 3 times a year from wherever I end up. You see, Abby, I have sacrificed all my life doing the right things by putting others first. After all, I've been married twice, but I'm afraid that if I don't travel now or live somewhere else, I may not be well enough later on in life to see them. So, what do you think is a good solution for me, Abby? Signed, At a Crossroads in Minnesota. Dear At a Crossroads in Minnesota, I agree with you, and you should move. Absence may make the heart grow fonder, but if it doesn't, at least you will have a chance to live your dream. Take it while you're young enough to travel and see things and to enjoy it. And maybe Skype or video chat with the grandkids. And here's an Abby Reader alert. If you know a student who would like to enter the $5,000 Dear Abby College Columnist Scholarship Contest, see the information on the website dearabby.com and learn more about this wonderful chance to win $5,000 scholarship. The deadline for this is fast approaching. If you would like to write Dear Abby, you may do so online at www.dearabby.com, or you may write her at Dear Abby, Post Office Box 69440, Los Angeles, California 90069.
All right, it's horoscope time for Thursday, May 17th, 2018. Stella Wilder composes this. Now, if you're born today, you bring your skills, opinions, and uniqueness to everything you do. You are nothing if you're not genuine. Others will trust in your authenticity throughout your lifetime.
Whoa.
Taurus, April 20th through May 20th. Taurus, you'll receive important and detailed instructions today, which you must follow to the letter. Don't be tempted to improvise. Gemini, May 21st through June 20th. Gemini, someone you know well is depending on your expertise to solve a problem that has been brewing for quite some time. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. Cancer, you may feel unusually fatigued at this time, and it's likely a combination of physical and emotional strain. It's time to take a rest, Cancer. Leo, July 23rd through August 22nd. Reconnection with one or two friends may have you up at night, but not for the reason you expect. Things take a turn for the unusual. And Virgo, August 23rd through September 22nd. You're on the verge of one or two decisions that are likely to send you in a new direction soon, with a good friend in tow as well. Libra, September 23rd through October 22nd. Libra, today's events remind you of things from years ago. The same issues are at play, but you can definitely address them in a different way. Scorpio, October 23rd through November 21st. Scorpio, time is of the essence, and if you make an early start, you can surely complete all tasks assigned to you today. The boss is watching, Scorpio. Sagittarius, November 22nd through December 21st. Saggy, you're waiting to receive information from someone whom you are currently reporting to on an important project. Do it his or her way. Capricorn, December 22nd through January 19th. Cappy, you needn't be upset by someone's attempts to do something for you that you can surely do for yourself. This person is only trying to help. Aquarius, January 20th through February 18th. Chance encounters, Aquarius, have you thinking that everything is merely a product of accident and luck, but you know that's not really true. And Pisces, February 19th through March 20th. Pisces, things are likely to progress at a quicker pace than expected. You can keep up, but can others keep up with you? That's not likely. And Aries, March 21st through April 19th. Aries, you may be able to mark the end of an era today as something changes permanently, albeit for the good. You can start making new plans. Here you go.
The horoscopes today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for the People's Pharmacy. Yes, this is brought to you by Joe and Teresa Graydon. But they don't have any questions today. What they have is kind of a little story or a vision of some sort. And the question is, what might you take on a desert island adventure as far as drugs? So here we go. Have you planned your summer vacation yet? If you are looking to get away from civilization, you might want to consider how to pack the medications that you might need for a desert island adventure. A decade or so ago, we asked some leading physicians what 3 medicines they would take with them to a desert island to treat conditions within their specialties. And their answers may be of interest to you. You probably won't need to pack all of these medications for your getaway, especially if you are not really going to be isolated on an island or a mountain trail. However, you do want to be prepared for problems that seem possible or likely on your adventures. So here we go. Dr. Robert Califf, a cardiologist and former commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration, offered these recommendations to take as far as medicines. For a pleasant island, he'd take aspirin for heart attack prevention and pain relief. He would take a statin to control cholesterol and an ACE inhibitor for blood pressure control. If the island were inhospitable, Dr. Robert Califf would add a steroid to counter inflammation and allergies you might have on a desert island. Now, Dr. Dean Edel was then a renowned media doctor. If he had to play Robinson Crusoe, he would take codeine. And that's what Dr. Dean Edel would take. He'd take codeine because it has so many uses. Codeine is used to relieve pain. It's used to control diarrhea and easing your cough. Dermatologist Stephen Feldman would want a topical anti-inflammatory drug such as a corticosteroid and an antibiotic like dicloxacillin. Harvard neurologist Daniel Hawk would choose gabapentin for his emergency medical kit. That's because he treats people with epilepsy, and he states, that's Dr. Hawk, he states, it's not a bad anticonvulsant, and I've used it with some benefit in post-concussive syndrome. I've used it in chronic pain and migraines and all of that, and it's even indicated for painful neuropathy. Now, Dr. Johann Jordan treats people with arthritis. Oh, excuse me, that's Joanne Jordan. Joanne Jordan, she would bring along a NSAID, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. She would take pills and a topical for pain and inflammation, and a capsicum cream or lotion for sore joints, and glucosamine for chondroitin. Dr. Stephen Nissen is chairman of the Department of Cardiovascular Medicine at the Cleveland Clinic. If he had to treat people on a desert island, Dr. Nissen would want a statin to counteract the effect of palm oil and coconut milk. He would also bring along a defibrillator with a solar charger to rescue people from cardiac arrest. In addition, Dr. Stephen Nissen would want a blood pressure cuff and a supply of diuretic HCTZ, hydrochlorothiazide, for treating hypertension. Another dermatologist, Stanley Levy, added sunscreen containing zinc oxide and an insect repellent containing DEET to the list of desert island essentials. His topical corticosteroid of choice would be clobetasol propionate, which is commonly called Timovate. It's a Timovate cream at 0.05%. He's being very specific here. Now, Dr. Danny Sands is an internist and advocate for participatory medicine. His participatory recommendations include water purification tablets, aspirin for pain relief, and heart attack prevention, and loperamide to treat diarrhea. We also asked Harvard epidemiologist Walter Willett, a famed epidemiologist, I finally got that one right. This island trip sounds like fun, and so this epidemiologist my task will be to monitor the health and disease status of the population and to investigate disease outbreaks. I believe, Nancy, here I go again, an epidemiologist is one that deals with skin rashes and things like that. Assuming there is no electricity, he states, my first need is a pencil and notebook. My second need is a solar-powered hand calculator. Prevention is also a high priority for a public health person. So my third need would be a shovel to dig latrines. Now, Nancy, what do you put in latrines? Oh, I won't go there.
Yeah, don't go there.
Don't go there. Yeah, that's an Army thing, right?
Right.
Anyway, the Harvard epidemiologist Walter Willett thinks that the shovel is very important. And number 4 is having soap to wash your hands. We hope you don't get stranded this summer, says Joe and Teresa Graydon. But these recommendations might give you some ideas about what to pack on your next big desert island adventure. And maybe you might get lucky and run into Gilligan and Professor Mary Ann, Ginger, and Dr. Howell, Thurston Howell III, and maybe...
That's right.
Now, you could run into those. And the skipper.
Don't forget the skipper.
And don't forget, you might run into them on your next desert island adventure. And don't forget to pack all those medications. Now, if you would like to write to the Graydons, you can do so at their website. It is the www.peoplespharmacy.com. And I can see that it is now 11:30 in the morning. It is the 17th of May, 2018. And I would like to remind you that this is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service. It is a United Way Partner Agency, and we broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call 910-672-1600 or call the toll-free number 844-709-5656. And for today, your radio hosts are Clark and
Nancy.
And we are proud to serve you today.
All right, we're going to go into the kitchen and get some tips for our smoothies to get them better for weight loss. According to Care 2's fitness expert, Brian Sayuki, if fitness and weight loss are your goals, pay attention to these smoothies' do's and don'ts. Don't add too much fruit. It's true you're better off drinking a creamy smoothie made from fruits than eating a cupcake, but most fruit is high in calories. Typical fruit smoothie can add up to over 500 calories, and fruit's high sugar content means they'll spike blood sugar levels and trigger cravings. Don't skimp on fiber. Fiber keeps hunger at bay, improves digestion, and ultimately adds weight loss. A smoothie that has avocado and kale is better than one made of bananas and spinach. Other high-fiber foods include lentils, beans, pears, strawberries, coconuts, apples, almonds, and broccoli. Don't add a lot of sweeteners. Just because honey is natural doesn't mean you can go overboard with it. It's high in calories, and it too will spike blood sugar levels and trigger cravings. Add a sweet fruit to your smoothie and avoid using flavored yogurt, since it has a lot of added sugar. Opt for full-fat Greek yogurt instead. Don't forget the protein. Research shows that protein helps burn fat and reduces total daily calorie intake. And high-protein foods to your smoothie. Add them. such as plain Greek yogurt, beans, cottage cheese, and nuts. But don't add protein powder. Most protein powders are loaded with artificial sweeteners, GMOs, and other unhealthy ingredients. Don't use the same greens over and over. Not only is this boring, it prevents you from getting a variety of nutrients. Do add chia seeds. 10th perfect ingredient for thickening. They're loaded with protein and fiber. Do add cayenne pepper. It'll add a kick as well as boost your metabolism. Do add matcha green tea powder. Made from fresh green tea leaves, this powder gives you all the benefits of green tea plus fiber. 1 teaspoon is all you need. Do add cinnamon. Popular among diabetics, research shows it helps regulate blood sugar levels, which helps control cravings, and it ultimately makes it easier to lose weight. Add 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon to your smoothie and blend as usual. And do add berries. Low glycemic berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries add sweetness along with lots of fiber and antitoxins. Okay, now we're going to talk about elevating your recipe's crunch with rice cereal. Some excellent ways to use crisp rice cereal outside of breakfast. One of my favorite chickens is rosemary chicken, that recipe. Food and Wine star chef Roy Choi says a crispy cereal coating adds a flavor level to chicken. You can apply the same idea when making chicken fried steak. I know someone who loves chicken fried steak. Crushed rice cereal mixed with seasonings of your choice makes an excellent coating for poultry. Meatloaf add in. Like oats and crackers, the cereal's flavor is bland enough that the only thing it does is bind and add a bit of texture. And sweet potatoes instead of marshmallows topped with crunchy rice cereal. Roasted Brussels sprouts, Clark.
I love Brussels sprouts.
Roast your sprouts as usual, and then coat them in hot olive oil. Roll them in crushed rice cereal. Season to your preference. Serve immediately. Cheese crisps. To your favorite cheese crisp recipe, add extra cheese and crushed crispy rice cereal so you can still form balls. Using the bottom of a glass, lightly press the balls flat. Bake as your recipe requires. This crisp cereal gives these treats a great crackle. And these tips are from Cookin'. There you go.
And now we have a little something.
What you got over there, Clark?
We have the Comic Con to feature the Munsters actor.
Oh, what are they up to?
Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster in the 1960s on the television show The Munsters, is scheduled to be at the 4th annual Fayetteville Comic Con event from October 20th to the 21st, 2 days. The Comic Con will be held at the Crown Expo Center. Tickets will go on sale Friday. Butch Patrick will have 2 show cars, Dragula and the Munster Coach, with him, according to a statement released Wednesday by the Fayetteville Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Tug, the superhero dog, is scheduled to make his last East Coast appearance at the Fayetteville Comic Con, the statement said. Tug, who has been to every Fayetteville Comic Con, is the subject of a comic book that encourages people to help each other. Others scheduled to appear at the Comic Con are Veronica Taylor, who is the voice of Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, the legendary comic book artist Bob Wiacek, Jason Douglas, the voice actor from Dragon Ball Z, and Tobin from The Walking Dead, and Andy Field, who is the voice of Hand Unit from the popular video game Five Nights at Freddy's. Tickets for the Fayetteville Comic Con will be available at the Crown Center box office and the Fort Bragg Leisure Center, and online at CapeFearTix.com. Go to FayettevilleComicCon.com for more information. And if this is clear as mud to you, you can call Steve Devane at 910-486-3572. I think the big poll here, Nancy, is Butch Patrick. Everybody that's seen the Munster show probably wants to see what the grown-up Eddie Munster looks like. Don't you?
I do.
Yeah. What do you got, Nancy?
All right. A lot of people don't know what the news broadcasters mean when they say the triangle area.
Yeah, what exactly does that mean, Nancy?
Well,
share with
Live
us.
Wire and the Observer staff, the triangle name dates back more than half a century. Question. News 14 on Spectrum tells news about Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, but very little about Fayetteville and the surrounding area. Is that true?
Yes. I think it's been around since the 50s.
I wish the Fayetteville Observer would print a map that tells me where this, quote, triangle, unquote, is. Why can't we get news about Fayetteville? I called Spectrum and they give me the runaround. This is from NS in Spring Lake. Answer. Research Triangle area of North Carolina, generally shortened to the Triangle, is the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill region of north of Fayetteville and Fort Bragg. The region's name stems from Research Triangle, formed by three research-based universities there: Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, State University in Raleigh, and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Accordingly, the North Carolina Gazetteer, a name was applied to that region in 1954. Research Triangle Park, an industrial park between Raleigh and Durham, opened in 1959, now has tens of thousands of workers at high-tech companies. The exact boundaries of the triangle varies depending on which source you consult. At its core, the triangle has Wake, Durham, and Orange counties, home of NC State, Duke, and UNC. It also has all or portions of the counties that surround those three. Fayetteville is not part of the triangle, but it is part of the geographically much larger 23-county Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville television market. TV news station based in Raleigh and Durham all have news bureaus in Fayetteville, but as most of their viewers are in the triangle, they concentrate most of their news gathering resources there. And that was by Paul Wolverton. Now, Livewire seeks to answer your questions of general interest and consumer topics. We use your initials to identify the questioners when the names are given. You can contact Livewire at livewire@fayobserver.com, or you can give Paul a call at 486-3516.
That was a neat little piece of trivia.
It was.
Yes, because I've heard Big Weather on Channel 11 always talk about the triangle and the weather up there.
You're right.
Yeah. But I'd like to share with you the state briefs, 3 little articles here. State Auditor. More than 1,900 computers are unaccounted for. Charlotte. A report from the state auditor says that more than 1,000 900 computers bought by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety over 2 years ago are unaccountable. They're not accounted for. The Charlotte Observer reports that State Auditor Beth Wood said it is unclear where the computers are and whether any of them were stolen. Beth Wood said while DPS, Department of Public Safety, was able to track down most of the 8,600 desktop and laptop computers purchased in 2014 and 2015, many of them are still missing. According to the audit, the department distributed the computers to users but did not track and account for them. The audit also said the department did not conduct an inventory of computer equipment for more than 5 years. The Department of Public Safety Secretary Eric Hooks said his agency would follow the auditor's recommendations for preventing loss and theft. Now I'm going to tell you, Nancy, that they should have signed a hand receipt. Somebody should have had a master hand receipt. You know, I spent 31 years in the military, and every time I got a new piece of something, I had to sign a hand receipt, and it was kept in a file by the supply sergeant. So I wonder if I should try to get a job over there and institute a hand receipt program for the city of Charlotte.
Here you go.
The next article. Former Mental Health Agency CEO, Chief Executive Officer, files a countersuit over pay. Charlotte. The former Chief Executive Officer of the state's largest regional mental health agency has filed a countersuit to fight efforts to recover $1.7 million in severance pay, which a new board of directors said he used for himself and other executives. The Winston-Salem Journal reports that Richard Topping, the former head of Cardinal Innovations, filed his countersuit Tuesday in Mecklenburg County Superior Court. Last May, that's 2017, State Auditor Beth Wood, here's her name again. In the previous article, Beth was talking about unaccounted for computers. Now, here's Beth Wood saying that she ripped Cardinal for lavish spending on CEO pay and questionable credit card purchases, among other items. In October, a 17-page report from the Department of Health and Human Services criticized the severance packages Cardinal offered Topping and his team. The next month, the Department of Health and Human Services took over the agency and fired the board for approving a $3.8 million severance package for Topping. That is Richard Topping, former head of Cardinal Innovations, and his other executives. So what is the commonality of these two articles? Well, the common link is Beth Wood. I'm getting a little suspicious here, ladies and gentlemen. The final article, the police shoot a man accused in his father's death. High Point. Police shot and wounded a man who they say killed his father. High Point police tell local news outlets a woman called saying that her brother showed up at her apartment Wednesday just covered in blood, she said, adding that her brother said he had just killed their father. The woman sent police to her grandparents' house to do a welfare check, and when they arrived, a man with a shotgun started firing at them from the rooftop. The wounded man was taken to Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center in Winston-Salem, where police said he is listed in stable condition. The North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation is looking into the shooting. The 4 unidentified officers involved were then, therefore, and so about, were placed on administrative leave. And this wraps up the 3 state briefs from the Fayetteville Obsever today.
All right, you know where White Lake is, don't you?
Yes, we went over there one time about 4 summers ago, and we thought we were going to buy a house over there.
Well, they've had some tough times there. Now there's more trouble with the lake.
Which lake?
White Lake.
What about White Lake?
Cause of fish kill has not been determined.
Uh-oh.
By Michael Futch. White Lake, with its annual water festival only days away, the Bladen County resort community of White Lake announced this week that the lake is safe for swimming and all other public use. According to a news release issued Tuesday, the town and the Bladen County Health Department have increased monitoring of the lake's use to ensure it remains safe for the public to use. The announcement was issued 3 days ahead of the weekend scheduled 40th anniversary White Lake Water Festival, and next weekend the extended Memorial Day weekend that traditionally kicks off the summer season. Earlier this month, officials with the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality said they are investigating a Bladen County fish kill that resulted in thousands of dead fish washing up on the shore of White Lake. Residents contacted the agency about the fish kill, and the agency staff collected water and fish samples to analyze and help them determine the cause of the fish kill. The lake's water quality is not a question at this point, Wayne Rayner, the Health and Human Services Director for Bladen County, said Wednesday morning. White Lake has issued a water quality update. We concur with the findings and statements by the state. We don't see any reason why White Lake can't continue with the festival, and we'll be monitoring the situation. It's safe for swimming and all other public use. On Tuesday, a spokeswoman for the State Department of Environmental Quality said she could not speak to the safety of the lake's water. As recently as May 9th, the state agency advised the public to use caution when engaging in recreational activities where a fish kill is ongoing or has recently occurred. The department released the following statement on Wednesday. As with any lake monitoring conducted by the Department of Water Resources, sampling and analysis does not include testing for potential human health impacts. Typically, that type of sampling and analysis would be conducted by a local health department or consultant hired by a local government or lake owner. As such, state environmental officials have not given a public health statement on swimming in the lake. DWR's statement typically include advising the public to avoid green water during an algae bloom or avoid areas where dead fish during a fish kill. An initial decision was made to temporarily halt the alum application until a cause could be determined. The treatment was allowed to resume, was expected to be completed Wednesday in time for the festival. So, during a public meeting in January, Mayor Goldston Womble Jr. said the town was taking steps to find solutions to the lake's water issues. 5 years of testing and studies had provided little information about the cause of the lake's high pH levels. In July 2016, a dozen visitors reported that they had experienced skin rashes after visiting the lake. At the time, officials across Bladen County and the state said they would continue to monitor White Lake, although testing had not linked the water to the skin rashes. Now you can reach staff writer Michael Futch at mfutch@fayobserver.com, or you can call Michael at 486-3529.
I'd hate to go swimming and come out of there with a skin rash.
I wouldn't like that either.
But we have a suspect that was charged in a high-speed chase. Might as well have been a race. A Fayetteville man was arrested Wednesday in a high-speed chase that happened in March on Pamela Drive, according to arrest warrants in the Cumberland County Magistrate's office. Ravion DeMonte Golden, age 26, of the 1500 block of Burroughs Drive, is charged with felony fleeing in a motor vehicle to elude arrest, driving while license revoked, hit and run with property damage, and several other traffic violations. On the 20th of March of this year, warrants said an officer attempted to stop Ravion DeMonte Golden's vehicle on Pamela Drive, but Ravion DeMonte Golden drove away. He is accused of speeding at 90 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour speed zone on Pamela Drive. Ravion DeMonte Golden turned onto Blanton Road and then onto Tryon Drive into the Briarcliff neighborhood, where he crashed the car on the 1700 block, warrant said. Ravion DeMonte Golden then got out of his car and ran away. Golden is accused of hitting 2 mailboxes, 2 utility boxes, 3 trees, and a Dodge Ram pickup. Damage was estimated at more than $1,000. Ravion DeMonte Golden's bail was set at $3,000. Nancy McCleary wrote this article for the Fayetteville Obsever.
Well, our too slow recovery. It was good to see Governor Roy Cooper come down to Robeson County Tuesday to take a look at Hurricane Matthew recovery efforts. That's what a governor should do. But then if we ponder the calendar for a minute, other questions come quickly. Didn't Matthew's devastating flooding hit this region going on two years ago? Why are we still waiting for funding to repair or replace residential and commercial structures damaged so long ago? On Tuesday, Cooper told reporters, "We've got to make sure people get funding and the people get help. I think that's critical. Help can never come fast enough for people who have been victims of Hurricane Matthew. Governor, help has most decidedly not come fast enough. If people are still waiting, that's a governmental disaster, compounding a natural disaster. We've got to be prepared to do better than this." That's more of a slam on the federal government than the state, because that's where the bulk of the recovery money comes from. But it's clear that on every level, we were not ready for what happened during Matthew. If we had been prepared, we'd already be engaged with the next phase of the response, taking measures to prevent similar damage the next time we're hit by a record-setting rain event, building a new river levees, elevating or moving vulnerable buildings, strengthening dams and bridges, and seeing to it that we have enough recovery funding available to begin repairing the damage in months, not years.
Boy.
Somebody's mad.
It sounds like it. Police ID shooting victims. The Fayetteville Police Department, they have identified the man who was fatally shot early Tuesday at a home on the 6,000 block of Willowbrook Drive. Giovanni Griffin, age 26, of the 6700 block of Willowbrook Drive, and Deanna Robinson, age 25, of the 2000 block of Powell Street, were found inside the residence. Both of them had gunshot wounds, a police news report said. Both of them were taken to the Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, where Giovanni Griffin was pronounced dead. Deanna Robinson still remains hospitalized, and she is listed in fair condition. No other information has been released. Anyone with information is asked to call Detective J.T. Hall at 910-729-2934. Crime Stoppers at 910-483-8477. Or you may submit your anonymous tip online at fay-nccrimestoppers.org or p3tips.com. Those numbers again are, you can call Detective J.T. Hall at 910-729-2934, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 910-483-TIPS or 8477. That's 910-483-8477. Or submit your anonymous tip online at fay-nccrimestoppers.org or p3tips.com. This concludes our reading of the Fayetteville Observer. Your radio hosts today have been Clark and
Nancy.
For our radio listeners out there, we will now join the Raleigh Network for additional programs. We thank you guys and our YouTube listeners for tuning us in. We have enjoyed being here, and we wish that you have a happy and wonderful day today. And remember, don't forget your umbrellas. It may rain later on this afternoon.